That's right, ladies and gents. This is your man DWeezy. You've heard the talks, you've heard the rumors. Now I'm here to launch my new channel, Backyard Action Media. Here at BAM, you will get hard hitting takes on the sports betting markets and the sports world in general. Now I'd like to introduce my show. If you see me on on lunch break hot takes, you've seen the lunch money bet segment. And if not, you need to run over there and hit the subscribe and like button and the notifications because I will be there every Wednesday live at 8 p.m. Eastern for lunch money bets. Now I'd like to welcome everyone to the Lunchtable Roundup. So grab a seat and come see what DWeezy's cooking as we dig into these betting markets. As I said, folks, my name is DWeezy, and hopefully today we can find some juicy numbers to sink our teeth into and hopefully fill our bellies and our pockets in the process because that's really what everyone's here to do. And no one wants to lose. No one goes into this saying, I want to lose my bets. And so hopefully I can supply everyone with a few angles and information that helps line everybody's pockets with a little more than they had. Now, as we dig into some of these numbers and some of the lines, I will be giving my personal opinion. That is what it is. By no means do I consider myself a professional gambler, but I do seem to have a knack for it. And if nothing more, I can pass it on to my fellow handicappers out there. And, that's really all you can do. You seek out information, depending on how much you value the source of that information, is it determines how much weight you give it. And if some people decide that my word is worth something, well, then that makes all this worth it. As y'all seen, if you are a fan of lunch break hot takes, you know, every Wednesday I have a number of plays. The NBA season has been good to me. I do have a Discord channel within their Discord chat that they have for the Patreon members there at Lunch Break Hot Takes. People there have seen, you know, the right angles, a little bit of knowledge. You don't have to know the sport, and you can still make money off it. I'm not a hockey guy. I've won a number of hockey bets. I am not a soccer guy. I've won a number of soccer bets. It's not magic. Maybe a little science, but it's not magic. So hopefully I can pass on a little of that knowledge and maybe someone out there can critique their own equation and come up with their own master concoction and take down the book. Because truly, that's the passion I get out of it. That's my joy. I like taking down that book. And so hopefully today I can supply some winning bets and everyone out there, we can take down that book together. Now, as I mentioned, if you're a fan of the LBHT show, Lunch Break Hot Takes, you've heard me mention the NBA playoffs a lot since they've started up in their Discord. I've been handicapping a play for each NBA game, and I'm going to continue with that as we have a couple games rolling up on us tomorrow or this Sunday. Now, the first one starting off with my picks, Milwaukee versus Boston. I know Milwaukee's a little banged up. Boston is still dealing with the injury bug. Not full strength, I'd say. Hadn't had time to get that cohesive nature that you'd want to see in the playoffs. But they are playing strong. My eye in this game is on the game total. I do prefer the game total versus a side. This is a preference of mine. To each handicapper, they have their own preferences. For me, as I said, I prefer the game totals in not all situations, but it is something that I look at not necessarily first, but in the beginning of when I start to evaluate a game. I do like the over on the total of 217.5. I think it'll be interesting to see how Boston's defense does against the Bucks. I think the same can be said about the Bucks defense against the Celtics. And I think that 217 does not reflect the type of game that we will see being played on the court. I would not be shocked if this game, when it's all said and done, the total ended up finishing more, say around 230. Now, that's 12 and a half points over where the book is placing it. I feel comfortable with that. And so that's where I'm going to make my play on this game. Game total over 217.5. Now, moving on to the next game, we got the Memphis Grizzlies and the Golden State Warriors. A bit of same conversation as our first playoff game on the day. You've had the injury bug strike both teams in recent memory. And I think in a lot of ways that's kept both teams from being able to maximize on their potential, or at least what a lot of people thought their potential could be for as a playoff run and as a playoff team. Looking at this game, book has total at 220.5. I honestly could see this game going under. These playoffs, I think, have been a little more interesting than most in the sense the injury bug has been a more concerned, and overall, I think that's led to the under being a more live play than not not to say more so than in recent years, but it seems like a factor that's leaning to the under more. Not the best players out there, limiting their minutes even if they are nursing something, and that lack of cohesive nature out of your number one starting unit. You know, these are things that I like to lean to the under. And so, Golden State Warriors, Memphis Grizzlies, 220.5, game total under. That's going to be my play on that game, and I'm comfortable with that. That's the most important part when it comes to making any sports bet. Do you like it? Because if you don't, then you probably shouldn't place the bet. And not to say that it's a bad bet, but if you don't like a bet, you shouldn't play it. That simple. You There's no such thing as a bad bet if you didn't make a bet. You can't lose if you didn't make a bet. And so honestly, you don't feel comfortable about it, you don't like it, even if you're only betting $5 on it, don't place it. You might not win, but you sure won't lose. So going into some other games and plays that I have lined up, um, me personally, I'm a man of variety, self-proclaimed sports junkie. As you see, I got NBA on my cap, but I love all sports. Those that have been following me here recently, follower of the Lunch Break Hot Takes, reached out on Twitter. For those watching, if you want to reach out on Twitter, DWeatherly90, you can find, I'll put it in the description below. You can reach out to me at Twitter. I'm happy to answer any questions someone might have or offer my opinion on a game. But recently, I had a member of the Lunch Break Hot Take community reach out to me and ask me about a couple Champions Leagues games. Not generally my forte. Haven't placed a bet on any Champions League action at all this season. Sure, why not? I'll take a dive into it. Like I said in the beginning, this is all about finding good lines and good values in those lines. And when you can develop an eye to spot those, it's less about knowing the sport and more about using the information the book gives you. The book's handicapping the game. They're telling you what they think the game roughly will be. The more information they give you, the more insight you're getting into what their opinion on how the outcome will be determined and dictated. So, like I said, it doesn't always take being a fan of the sport. I enjoy the game of soccer, football, whatever you want to call it. I enjoy it. Put some on the tube. No problem with me. As far as have I recently watched any Champions League play? No. Did that mean that I did not win on the couple bets I placed? Incorrect. Actually went 2-0. Happy to make my man some money. Put a little money in his pocket, put a little money in mine, keep things moving, find the next line and keep it rolling. And that actually is going to bring us to my next two plays because I'm going to be going to the second leg of those Champions League matchup where we have Manchester City taking on Real Madrid. I'm taking Manchester City to win outright. I got the number earlier in the week at plus 105. Now, again, this is soccer, and so this is three-way market on the money line. For those that don't know, the draw is an option. So that does mean that if you play the money line, game ends in a draw, you still lose. Personally, I like the way Man City's been playing. Going into the last matchup, I expected a lot of goals, firepower. These teams have played multiple times within the past year. It seems like I don't want to say know each other, but have a good feel for how the other plays. And it's going to lead to an exciting game and some exciting play. I don't think we'll see as many goals as we saw in the first leg of this matchup. But as I said, I think Manchester City will come out on top. I got the number on the plus side. The number may be on, they may be favored more. It may have gone to the minus. There may be a little juice on it. And for those listening that, if you happen to hear any terminology that you don't know, feel free to put your questions in the comments because a large part of this is the terminology. And, you might hear me say juice and minus numbers. And that's really just all referring to the odds. I got the number at plus 105. In some places, that number currently, it may have moved slightly. It may be minus 110. All that means is if you're $100 better, you have at minus 110, you have to bet $110 to win $100. At plus 105, if you bet $100, you win $105. That's all that means. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that people put below, explain any and everything that I can, because like I said, I'm here to help and educate any potential gamblers out there. Moving on to the next game, Liverpool and Villarreal. In the first leg of this matchup, I had the same play. The game total under 2.5, 3. For those that don't know, this is the Asian spread. It doesn't necessarily complicate things. It just simply takes a push out of the equation. And, this is something that from gambler to gambler seem to have a different opinion on To me, all it says is we need under 3 because I got under 2.5, 3. It's that simple. The first game of the first leg of this matchup, game went 2-0 Liverpool. The way I expected. I had the under 2.5 in that game, which cashed. I'm going back to the well on this one. I don't think a lot of goals will be scored. The information I've seen as far as the matchup, Liverpool's defense is too strong for Villarreal, and I think they'll get a goal or two like they did in the first game and lock them down defensively. Could this game possibly end in a draw, 0-0, maybe 1-1? Yes, but that still works out in my favor. Um, so yeah, going back to the well on this one, under 2.5, 3. Now again, mix things up a little bit. Man of many sports varieties. It's Champions League this week. Who knows? It might be Liga MX next week. And for those that know, they know. But the moves to something a little more common stateside, America's pastime, baseball. Now, to some, you may hate baseball. Others love it. Me, I'm of the mindset, can we win some money off of it? Man, I enjoy baseball. Now, I enjoy baseball without winning money on it, but I'll enjoy baseball more with winning money on it. So this week, looking at a couple games, um, I wouldn't call it a system, but something I like to do. For those a little more well versed in the sports betting markets, a 2-leg parlay. Simply, I had two separate bets that have to be right. In this instance, I target the money lines in baseball games. I don't look for strong favorites as much as I've paid bad teams. Bad teams play bad. Bad teams lose games. You don't have to figure out how or why. You know, Bad teams will lose games that go beyond explanation. All you have to do is be right about a bad team losing. This week, I'm going to be targeting San Diego Padres taking on Pittsburgh Pirates. This was a matchup I was targeting the other night. Pittsburgh won it in extra innings. I think San Diego comes back. All I need is for them to win. So even though they're minus 186 on the money line, a bit of a heavy favorite. Me personally, I'm not comfortable playing minus 180, minus 190, anything really over minus 150 on the money line on an individual bet. To go back to our numbers, if you're a $100 better, you got to bet $150 to win $100 at minus 150. There's still the chance the team lose. That was proven the other night. We just saw Pittsburgh beat San Diego. Not impossible, folks. So take that money line with the Padres, and you go. You hear a lot of people refer to it as a dance partner. You need someone to go with this. Searching out, we're going to target another potential bad team versus a better team. Looking at the San Francisco Giants, minus 170. Again, we're not targeting favorites as much as we're fading the bad teams here or the lesser team. So, that being said, slap this together where at best we're looking at minus 170 to win $100. Both teams went to win outright, plus 144. I mean, I like that. I like that number better. You know, I can bet 1 unit, have the potential to win plus money. Again, like I said, fading bad teams to be bad. Bad teams invent ways to lose. I don't have to figure out what new, inventive, creative way they're going to lose the game in. I just have to know they're going to lose. So, going back to this mindset, the team I've targeted a little bit this season, Detroit Tigers, another bad team. You got the Dodgers on the mound, and yes, we got Burrow on the taking the rubber for the Dodgers. If I'm not mistaken, he's coming off that either a complete, yeah, it was a complete game. You know, one of the better pitchers in the league, one of the worst teams in the league, and the Dodgers on the other side. You know, Dodgers are minus 235. Big wood in this game. Yeah, you don't. I'm not betting minus 235 to win $100. Math don't. That math don't jive. Right. So you find a dance partner here. Yeah, Mets are playing strong. Now, anybody that's followed baseball knows this is what the Mets do. They play strong early in the season. They win a lot early in the season, and then they'll lose it in the end. But it's early in the season, so we're just going to focus on that right now. It's the time of year where the Mets win. Mets are playing well right now. The Mets are hot. The Mets are minus 171 on the money line. Slap that together with the Dodgers, ends up being plus 120. Philly, they're a bad team. Mets, they're playing hot. It's the time of year when the Mets do what they do. We got the Dodgers taking on a bad team. I like that matchup. Plus money for each team to win outright. I can look. I can work with that all day long. Plus money goes a long way. Yeah. And like I said, when I started off with this, just hoping to maybe pass on some information and knowledge to my fellow handicappers out there and see where things go. Because I could sit down and break down odds and numbers all day long and tell you trends and statistics. But those trends and statistics only carry as much weight as you value. You know, rebounds might mean something to me. They might mean nothing to you. The pace of play might mean something to me. It might mean nothing to you. We might get to the same destination and take completely different routes to get there. Yeah. By no means is this an attempt to tell people who's right and who's wrong, because I don't know. Book doesn't know, that's for sure. That is one thing you can take away from this is nobody knows what's going to happen out there. Everybody's guessing. Somebody's guess is going to be better than the rest. That's how it works. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure to go and hit that like and subscribe button. I do plan on having more content coming in the future. You can look for DWeezy to be delivering hopefully every week come Sunday. Yeah, especially expect when the NFL season comes around, there'll be NFL plays. As you saw today, there's a variety of plays. Of course, every week on Wednesday on on lunch break hot takes, you can catch me on for my live segment where I break down even more free plays. Now, in that Discord, there's even more. Catch DWeezy on a heater, things can get exciting. Hopefully, I'll see y'all next week with more plays and more content. here at Backyard Action Media. Bam.